Uh, Dan, like we know what the biggest thing was this weekend, so I'm gonna let you. I'm willingly gonna let him start. I'm willingly gonna let you start. I'm gonna let you start because I know where this is going. I know what the tabloids, the papers, the fans have been saying about what happened at Anfield. So take it away.
All right. I want to change up my tune. I'm going to start a little differently. I'm going to give Mourinho a little bit of credit because I think he did the best that he could have, but in the situation. I think tactically he got it right for most of the game. I think the goals that went in on De Gea are what they are. Mourinho said they were lucky, and to a certain degree, to a certain extent, I agree. The only mistake I think Mourinho made was not introducing Pogba at some point in time in the game. I know that tactically and all of that, but I think when you're down 2-1, I think you need to introduce him into that game. I think he would have given you something. I know tactically he's a liability and whatnot, but he could change that. He could have changed that game.
Fabs, hold on, Dad. You think or you hope that he was going to give them something?
I hope.
Okay.
I hope.
That's much better.
Yeah.
That is
I hope.
much better.
I hope. I don't know. Honestly, right now, I don't know what Pogba offers this United team, but I would hope that he could have changed that game. And I think he needed to introduce Paul.
You don't know what Pogba offers that team or any team?
No, I know what he offers some other teams.
Really?
Yeah. Not much right now, but I know he would be useful in other teams. I just don't think he fits in that Mourinho team.
He hasn't shown me that over the past 12 to 24 months.
No, and he's been poor. Let's get things straight. But I think Mourinho deserves a little bit of credit for how he set up that team tactically. I think he did what he could have done. And if he goes toe-to-toe with Liverpool in that game, they lose 5, 6, 7-0.
Yeah.
So kudos to Jose for setting, and that's what I was going to get to with PSG. I think he has the ability to frustrate teams, and I think he did the best that he could have, given the players, given the personnel that he had.
I wasn't expecting that.
I know you weren't. That's why. So,
but
go ahead.
I'm pretty sure that's where the tune that I was going in when we were like kind of previewing or predicting how the game would go. I was not surprised with the way that he did set up the team. Look, I got a problem with people that are jumping this Pogba thing because you got to pick a side. You got to pick a side because 1 week it's Pogba shouldn't play. He's playing bad. Like, why is he in the side, but he's not doing anything, and people are killing Pogba. And then when he doesn't play, when he rightly shouldn't play, oh well, you should have played him. Well, you should have brought him on. Like, you got to pick one. I stand with Mourinho and him not playing, and I don't think him coming on for the sake of trying to save the game would have done anything. And I don't think he would have saved the game, and I don't think he would have done anything better than what the other 3 guys there were gonna do. To be honest,
I think if anything, it would have left you more susceptible to getting scored on earlier.
I don't think he's shown anything over the past X amount of months to say that he deserved to be in that starting lineup, and he hasn't shown us anything that he could have come on and saved them. So that's why when people are like, "Well, at some point you have to throw Pogba on for what? Why? Why does he have to do it? If a manager loses trust in a player because that player cannot fulfill a role, regardless of who you're playing, then that's fine." That is fine. That's the manager's decision. The manager sees him day in, day out. We see him week in and week out. The manager sees him day in and day out, and he has no reason to play him. That is totally fine. If we see him week in and week out, and we can't find any justifiable reason besides the fact that it's Liverpool and that they were down, then there's no reason for him to play. And I don't think he would have done anything. And I've told you that Paul has a lot of growing up to do, and he has a lot to think about regarding his future, because the sky was the limit. When he was signed to Manchester United, they were saying the next Ballon d'Or winner, the next big thing. He was supposed to be the face of French football. And now you look at him,
he's just another player.
I don't know what you'd offer my team.
That's my biggest problem with Paul is that he doesn't make anybody around him better. And a player of his magnitude needs to make the players around him better. Everybody talks about Paul. Paul performs at France not based on his own accord.
No, it's because he's got players.
Exactly. And at a player of his magnitude, you should not have to play in a specific side around specific players so that you can play your game. You should be able to play your game anywhere you go.
It's the same thing at Juve. And we've gone down the road. I don't need to explain that again.
Yeah. No, he was surrounded by fantastic players at Juve.
Yeah. Now, I understand why United would have purchased him, because you would like to assume, and specifically Mourinho would like to assume, that he would be given players to help surround Pogba with the tools that he needs to excel. That hasn't worked out. And I don't think Pogba's done himself any favors. I don't think he's done anything to try and improve his game, because that is not only on the manager, that is on the player as well. It goes hand in hand. You got to want it. Regardless of who the manager is, you got to want it. And he just doesn't look like he wants it. He doesn't. And no, if I were Mourinho and I was in this position, I would not throw him on there. He has given me no reason to suggest that he was going to make a difference there. But that's just the talking point, because that's just another way to kill Mourinho. Because that is where we're going with this.
I think the problem is that, and kudos to Klopp, by the way, for bringing on Shaqiri. No, I mean, you have to give, if you got to give him some credit, because he takes Keita off and he brings on Shaqiri, and he went for it. And Shaqiri scores those 2 goals. Okay, granted, both of them by a deflection. But you know what? Yeah, Klopp went for it. He didn't have to bring in Shaqiri.
Yeah, I did.
No.
Yeah, I did.
No, he could have brought Henderson as the first sub.
No.
He's in the title race.
No.
You don't think so?
No. I'm watching that game, and barring the first 20 minutes where they probably should have killed the game off,
yeah,
I don't think Liverpool were that much better than United, barring possession and territorial dominance.
Right.
I don't. Everyone's harping about the 36 shots, but how many of those shots were beyond 25 yards?
Few and far in between.
How many of those shots really tested David De Gea?
But I always felt like it was far more probable for Liverpool to get the next goal as opposed to United getting the goal.
Well, yes.
And that's why I think,
and in that sense, I think that it was eventually going to happen, regardless if Shaqiri was there or not. I think they would have been able to break them down and get a goal.
I don't think they have that switch without Shaqiri in there. I think Shaqiri added that extra little bit of attacking prowess, if you want to say, that they were struggling to break United down. And I honestly don't think that they would have scored without adding that little bit of attacking flair that Shaqiri brings.
I don't think him coming on really changed the game. And like I said, prior to that deflected goal, yes, they had much of the ball. Yes, they were finding space down Robertson's side, but United were fine. United were getting into dangerous areas, but Jesse couldn't find a final ball. Jesse couldn't hit the target. They had that one chance where Robertson cleared it before Fellaini was going to probably score.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I thought, obviously, it wasn't going at the way that United would have wanted, but they were in no danger whatsoever.
No, zero.
They were
zero.
And that's kind of my point, is that Klopp risked it. Who else was he going to bring on to really change that game? Keita was on for way too long, and they had that 2v1 because Lingard wasn't tracking Robertson. So obviously, you bring on Shaqiri, you push Mane out to the left. It makes common sense.
Because he sure wasn't going to bring on Sturridge.
There was no need to.
No,
you want to know what? If the game went on and they hadn't scored, then he probably would have.
Yeah, he would have probably made the substitution. Sturridge for Mane, I think.
The one thing I do say is, if you take, I think that's where Fabs was trying to maybe correct me, is that if you do take 36 shots, there's a good chance that one of those could take a lucky bounce, or one of those could lead to an opportunity where a United defender makes a mistake. But besides that, I mean, that 36-6 or whatever it was really doesn't tell me the whole storyline in terms of the pattern of play or who really was creating the better chances.
But how many chances did that Man United team actually create? If we're being honest, the goal they scored was Alisson's fault.
Okay.
And then what Alisson didn't touch the ball in the second half. Not once.
Yeah.
With his hands. With his feet. With his feet, he was fantastic. He didn't touch the ball.
How many times did De Gea really touch the ball with his hands?
In that second half, he made a very nice save on Firmino with the toe poke. He made another save too. Two.
He made the toe poke and what? The one that was shot and he caught it?
Okay, three. There was another one.
That's where I'm going. Mourinho's setup was to disrupt and to contain.
And that was to my point at the beginning. I thought Mourinho set it up tactically perfect.
But Jesse, my point was that Jesse got into good positions. They got into good areas, but they lacked, more so in the second half than the first. Because in the first half, they didn't really settle into the game till after the 25th minute or so, after Liverpool had scored. But at that point, you couldn't really say that Liverpool were going to score. Their goal came from a throw-in.
Yep.
And then a switch-off from Young. United's goal came from a switch-off, a throw-in, and they bypassed. And then the Alisson mistake. And the winner, like I said, the winner comes from, obviously, Mane beats Herrera, and then deflected shot. But this is what you need as a title contender. If you need those lucky bounces, you need that luck. But I don't really think that the Shaqiri change. Obviously, he gets the 2 goals, so that is where we're going to paint the picture. But in terms of the way the game went, I don't think he really influenced it. He was, I guess you could say, he was decisive.
Yeah.
If that's where we're going to go with it.
That's my point. Is I think if that's Keita in those positions, those shots are still going to go in.
Yeah.
That's where I think that it was eventually going to happen, regardless of if the change is made. Is that Liverpool, with all that time and possession on the ball, especially with those 3 in attack, you feel like it's just eventually going to come at some point, especially when they're not really being forced to go the other way.
So Liverpool's 1 point up on City. There's a very, I don't want to say very realistic, but there's a good chance that by Friday, when Liverpool finishes playing, they could be 4 points up on City before their next game.
No deal.
No deal what?
Oh, they're going to ask if it was a big deal or a little deal. A little deal.
No. No.
Okay.
I'm not saying that. But how much does that give Liverpool confidence going forward that they're still in this?
Still in what?
In the title chase?
They're in it.
They're leading the chase.
So look, I know how much we overhype. We're guilty. Everyone's guilty of overhyping City to a different standard to Liverpool. But regardless of what it is, Liverpool are in it.
Yeah.
There's no other way around it. Whether they lose against Wolves, whether they draw Wolves, or they beat Wolves, they're in it.
They are. But what I'm saying is, if Liverpool keep having this lead, keep playing first, keep laying the marker down, how much is that going to affect City going forward?
I don't think it does.
Not
At all?
No.
You're not affecting the champions. Not a side led by Pep. Pep's not going out there and saying, "Oh, Liverpool won. I got to do something special, or I got to do something different." He's going to go out there and play his game.
Right, but
and that's, to me, is the mark of a champion. It's just going out and getting it done.
If anything, it's Liverpool who have to.
They have the pressure. Really,
they have the pressure on them.
What City did last year was like I don't know the word I want to use right now, but it was unprecedented. So for them, they've set the marker. That is the marker. They are the team to beat. Liverpool are the ones, yes, they are in first now, but the pressure's on them.
They have to win every week.
Yeah.
They feel like they can't drop any points.
And that's what they can't do, is go to Wolves or play Wolves on Friday and look past them. Because Wolves have played every single big side very well.
And they're going to play Liverpool very well.
If Liverpool drop points on Friday, I will not be surprised.
No. Now, I didn't check. Is it at home?
No, it's at Wolves.
Is that Wolves?
Yeah.
I'm all in you.
Wow.
I don't think that really mattered in this
because
case,
the setup is still going to be the same.
Setup's going to be the same.
It's going to be the same.
They played good away and at home against the bigger sides. And let's not forget, City have a big game against Palace, and they historically don't really play well against them, from what I recall. So we'll see how that goes as well. They're both in line to really drop points this weekend. If you were a betting person, I'd like to think that one of them will.
Yep.
I just don't know who it's going to be.
Before we leave this Liverpool United, it was interesting, Jose Mourinho's comments post game, and I forget who the interviewer was, but he asked Mourinho, "What's realistic?" And he said they're aiming to catch 5th and to finish 4th.
Yeah.
Anybody surprised? Anybody surprised by those?
No. What is he going to say?
I don't know
what is he going to say. Europa League? No,
I don't know what else he's going to say.
He's playing the game.
Yeah,
that's all he's doing.
Is I think they're 11 points back right now. Correct?
Yeah. Roughly, I would like to think so.
At what point is the gap just too big?
I already told you that.
What was it?
I didn't give you a number. I gave you a date.
You said March.
I gave you a month.
And end of June?
No, I said I gave you a month. I gave you a month. I gave you a month.
So you're still sticking with March?
Yeah.
Okay.
Look, man. I know maybe because it's double digits. I don't know what it is, but look, they're out of the title race. If you're to tell me,
no, let's not. Okay, forget about the title race.
But I'm trying to give you some context here.
Okay.
If we're here and you're talking about the title, yes, that's done.
Yeah, okay.
That's been done. But if you're to tell me that 11 points is done, no, not now. There's too many games to be played. Too many. If it increases, if it hits 20, then I'll be like, okay, now we gotta like really relax. Okay, it's 11. It's a lot. It's not going to be any simple task. Do I think they could do it? I'm not 100% sure they can, but I'm not going to say that. Yeah, it is over today.
No, I'm not saying it's over today either.
But I feel like deep down you feel like it is.
I do.
I think I don't. Honestly, it's not over. I just think that they're just not a good enough squad.
So indirectly, you're saying that it's over.
I do. I won't sit on that fence. I do.
Okay.
I think 11 points in 18 games is way too much to make up.
It's been done.
I'm not going against you. I just don't see it in this United side.
And it's been done on numerous occasions.
That's fine. I don't see it in this United side going against potentially one of the best top 4s of the last few years.
I've already made one bad prediction.
No, I just don't see it personally. I'll be very hard pressed to believe that all of a sudden there's going to be a complete culture change and he's going to get those players to play the way he wants them to. I think it's on the players just for whatever reason it is, they just don't want to get behind what he's preaching, and there's a little bit of there's tension in there, and I don't think in that scenario, I think everything that's built around it be extremely difficult to get those guys firing on all cylinders. That's why it deters me from thinking it can be done. I think in a perfect storm against a team who's completely behind their manager, can you make up the difference? Sure, because they clearly still have talented players there. But can he get those talented players to play for him? I think to me that's a bigger question, why I tend to not believe that it can be done.
That's fair.
That's my only thing.
That's fair. We have to wait and see.
Of course.
We have to wait and see.
Like with anything, it's time. I don't want to go on and have the same conversation we've been having for a month over and over again.
It's crazy because on social media, everyone feels that like but that's just United fans being a bit too defensive. Feel that I'm the one with the Mourinho agenda and I'm the one with the United agenda and I'm here caping for them every single week saying it's not done. It's not done. They're not out of it. It's crazy. It's December.
That's fair.
It's December. And I agree with Fabs. They've shown us nothing for me to suggest that they are going to pull this off. But I can't kill a team and I know to say only 11. If it's a title race, only 11 is a bit wild. And I've seen that be turned around. And much shorter time. I've seen that turned around in like February. I'm pretty sure that Chelsea side in 2010, 2011 were like 15 points behind Ferguson's side and brought it down to like the last day. And they weren't very good. So we've seen things like this happen, and we could go season by season. So I'm not going to kill them yet, but everyone wants to kill them. It's the cool thing to do. Mourinho's time is apparently up. And I agree with Fabs. It's a bad environment right now. It's a difficult situation. But I've gone on record to say that Mourinho, you can't kill Mourinho without killing everyone else.
Oh, I think that's fair.
You can't kill Mourinho without killing everyone else. The board needs to get killed. I'm sorry, the players need to get killed. I don't care what. I don't give a damn what instructions the manager is giving you. Okay, you goddamn go out there and do it. You do it.
Yep.
You do it. Like I don't know who I don't know who they think they are.
What have they achieved?
What have they achieved?
To be that way?
They're like, I'm not going to name pundits by name. Oh, these Manchester United players have done something before. They've proven that they could play under other managers. What the hell have they done?
Yeah.
What has Marcus Rashford ever done? What has he ever accomplished? What has Jesse Lingard ever done? What the hell has Romelu Lukaku ever done?
Martial.
What has Martial done? Martial, what has he done? What has Pogba done? The only person who could really say they've actually done something, and like in terms of winning something, is probably Matic, Chris Smalling, but I don't even know
Mata.
Mata. But even then, I mean, but yeah, he's won something. But what have they done? What have they proven to show that their way or the way that they want to play is better than what this guy is telling you what to do? And he ain't telling you to do much. So that's my problem. And that's my problem. And I feel like I saw, I don't know if Dan didn't want to bring it up anymore, but I saw the little Mourinho spent this and Klopp has spent that, and it's roughly around the same, and one guy is kicking off and one guy isn't. Look, at Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp has full backing from that board. Full backing. And Jose doesn't. I don't know who's running the operation back there, but that board is not fully backing him. And we'll get to that in a bit. The other thing here is that I don't think we should be using transfer valuation to assess what Mourinho's done. Because I'm pretty sure Mourinho does not set the transfer fee for these players.
No.
Am I correct or incorrect?
That's fair.
No, that's fair.
He chooses who he wants to bring in. But I'm pretty sure if Juventus said you can have Paul Pogba for 90 million, I'm pretty sure Liverpool will go somewhere else.
Right.
United chose to pay that much money for him.
Okay, but let's then that same.
The reason why I bring that up, sorry to cut you off, is because when Mourinho this summer asked for Toby and he asked for Harry Maguire, and those transfer valuations were set and they were extremely high, the board said no.
Okay,
the board said no. So you could say no to Toby and Harry Maguire, but when other clubs are fleecing you, like Everton did for Lukaku, and when you got fleeced for Matic, and when you got fleeced for Pogba, you're giving in for what? I know what the answer is, but for what? For Alexis. We still to this day don't know if Mourinho actually wanted Alexis Sanchez. We just know that he was available.
Sure, no, and I agree with your points. If you take out, but that argument can still be made that if you take out those transfer values, Mourinho did pick those players. Forget about the transfer value. Okay.
Do we know? I know he picked Lukaku.
Yeah, and I know he picked Pogba, and I know
we don't know that.
But
we don't know that.
So you're telling me that the board signs players that the coach doesn't want? I find that very hard to believe. I find it almost impossible to believe that
they don't sign players that he does want.
Okay, but that's not the argument.
But if they don't sign the players that he wants,
there's no way that a guy like Jose doesn't have a say on who's coming in. He may, and to your point, he may have asked for Toby and Maguire, and the board had said no. But there's no way that the board signed someone and they say to Jose, "Okay, we signed this player, now you have to use them." I doubt that's happening at any football club.
That's not true. And
So you're telling me that
that's happened to him before. Shevchenko, Balak, at Chelsea. He wanted Shevchenko at Chelsea. He didn't want Shevchenko at Chelsea. He didn't want Michael Balak at Chelsea.
but I'm talking about at United right now.
Okay, but you're saying you doubt that happens at any other club, but that's happened to Mourinho already. So that's my point.
Okay, but right now, this situation, don't tell me that he's what he's asking with those players on that list.
Okay, well, he wanted Pogba. Okay, let's say he wanted Pogba.
Fred.
Let's say he wanted Pogba, and it
Yeah.
didn't work out.
Fred.
Well, okay, hold on. I'm sticking to Pogba. Let's say he wanted Pogba, and it didn't work out.
Okay.
In previous seasons, when that happened to Sir Alex Ferguson, when he brought in players and it didn't work out, they got rid of him.
Yep.
And that was it.
Yeah, that's on the board.
But why can't they get rid of Paul Pogba?
They can.
No,
Yeah, they can.
no, they can't.
Why not?
Because there's too much money invested
Oh,
into
but
Paul Pogba.
Okay, but they can.
But that is my point. So that is a reason why they could have signed Paul Pogba. I'm not saying that Mourinho didn't want him, but we don't have full evidence that Mourinho really wanted Paul Pogba. But you are saying that you are 100% convinced that he wanted Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba means more to Manchester United than just what he offers on the field.
But we've had that discussion, and I agree with you 100% that he does offer that. But to your point, even the Beckhams that were there with
Oh, don't do that to Beckham, because Beckham was great.
he was great. But you know what? If Beckham
He was great before he became a name.
yes, but if Beckham was playing like Paul is right now, I know for sure he would be out the door. Ferguson wouldn't have cared.
So why is Pogba still there?
That's the best question.
Yeah, exactly.
Because United, you want the answer?
Exactly.
Because United's afraid to lose all the money they invested in Paul Pogba.
No.
You don't think so? Then why isn't he gone?
That's the question I'm asking you. You said Mourinho wanted him.
Mourinho did want him, but he failed Mourinho. He failed Mourinho. Let's be honest.
Okay.
Okay.
Who else did Mourinho want?
Fred.
Who else? Okay. That takes time. That's a one season. He needs to get introduced to the season, and I mean to the different country, different climate. He gets a one season pass. The Bailly and the Lindelof signings, they needed new center back, so I feel like that could get a pass.
Can I just say one thing in this whole conversation?
Good.
Is even with all that comparison between Liverpool and United, what has Klopp achieved at Liverpool?
And that's the other thing.
He doesn't want. He needs to win.
Exactly, and that I was getting to that, but I want to see, like, you're bringing up these two transfer the money that they've used, but Klopp hasn't done a goddamn thing. He really hasn't.
If he goes and comes second this season, he'll achieve what Mourinho achieved last season.
He really hasn't done a goddamn thing, which is why I found that really funny that we're doing Let's Compare.
And we're doing a Let's Compare right now when Liverpool are at their peak.
Yeah.
That's a little unfair.
We weren't doing a Let's Compare last season.
We do Let's Compares at the end of the season.
We're doing a Let's Compare when Liverpool were... Look at the money that Liverpool have been given to who they've brought in and what they were coming in terms of Van Dijk, who he was coming to that team. Nowhere, he was definitely one of the best center backs in the Premier League, if not one, joining Liverpool. I can't say the same about Paul. I can't say he was the best at anything.
But then you can make the counter argument that all of those guys that have been brought in to Liverpool right now, they're all worth a lot more than what they were brought in for and what their values are now. How if Liverpool sell Van Dijk, they're going to make a profit on Van Dijk.
That's fine.
They're going to make a profit on Salah.
That's fine.
Can you say that to all of those Man United signings?
I don't think that's the goal.
Why does that matter?
That's not the goal. The goal is trophies.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's what matters. We're in a sport where winning matters.
I don't care about valuation or who they're going to sell for what. I said this about Klopp 2 weeks ago or a week ago. Win, and then you have something to really talk about. But I don't care what they're doing right now if they don't win. I don't care if they make it to a Champions League final. I don't care if they make it to a Europa League final. I don't care if they make it to the FA Cup, because they got knocked out of the Carabao Cup. So
Yep.
I don't care what they do unless they win. That is the main goal. Mourinho's won. You could discredit the trophies as much as you want. He's won something with that United squad. And I don't think he should have won anything with that United squad. I don't think that United squad is good enough to win anything.
I agree.
And you could bring in Poch, you could bring in whoever you want, but look, if Pep went to that United squad, there would have been a huge
overturn.
Anyone that comes to that club next year, there has to be a huge overturn from the top to the bottom if they're going to do anything. Period.
Yeah, look, I'm not disagreeing with you in terms of what Klopp has to do with this Liverpool team. I think the same argument that we made about Juve winning now. I think the same window applies to Klopp. Klopp has to win now.
Of course.
Problem is that Klopp has a little bit of a tougher time winning trophies than Max at Juve. But you are right. Klopp needs a trophy.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say any trophy, but
no. At this point, it's any trophy.
You think?
If they go trophyless this season, it is a failure. I don't care if they push City. I don't care if they push City to the last day. They invested so much money into that squad. He has gotten everything that he's wanted.
I'd have to second that.
He's gotten everything he's wanted.
Anything at this point.
He got. If Chelsea didn't sell Courtois, he would have had the most expensive goalkeeper. He has the most expensive defender. He brought in depth. He already had the best attack from last season. What else more does he want?
I don't think he could have any more than what he has now. I just think it's going to be tough for him to win a trophy this year. I just don't see him, other than maybe what trophy are they still in? What
FA Cup?
FA Cup. Thank you. That might be something that they could win, but I think the rest of the competition, they're going to be tough to win the other two that they're in.
Well, I'm sorry, but when you invest that money like every other club has this season, all the big clubs, it's the same thing that applies to them. It's the same thing that applies to Atletico. It's the same thing that applies to PSG in terms of winning the Champions League. It's the same thing that applies to Juve in terms of winning the Champions League. Anyone that's made a big investment, that is the cost. You make the big investment, you have to win.
Can't be given a pass.
Yeah, you don't get a pass.
At least not here.
You don't get a pass for coming close against Manchester City, for not making the grade in the Champions League, for not winning any of the smaller domestic cups. You spent that money. You got what you wanted. You know?
Yeah.
You're given the hype. Everyone's giving you a pass. But if you don't win anything, then what's your purpose?
No, you have to win. Look, I'm
You're
not
there to contend.
I'm not disagreeing with you. Klopp has to win some trophies, and that time to win is now. I don't disagree with you. And
the one of the big differences here is that Klopp is a very likable guy, and he plays a type of football that appeals to that culture, the tackling, the pressing, the work rate. They love that.
Mm-hmm.
They love him. He looks like a nice guy. He looks like a guy that I would probably love to talk to and hang out with on a Friday night. Pause. Jose is not that guy anymore.
Yeah.
So they want to kill him. I'm sorry. It's harsh to say that there is an agenda, but they don't do themselves any favors by the way that they assess him and his work and what's been done. The problem from the board to the bottom to him, Mourinho deserves some shtick. You know, he does deserve some criticism, but they're all responsible, and that is what it comes down to.
Give him the gunshots, Fab.
No? So that's how I see it. I don't know if they're going to finish in the top 4, but I'm not killing them yet. And we're all on this Klopp rave, but win something. I don't care how much money you spend. I don't care if you save some money. If you got the bargain don't mean shit if you don't win. Period. I'm tired of these guys. Every week, it's the Klopp love affair.
Yeah.
It's the Klopp love affair. But you haven't won anything. So I put you in the same breath as I put Pochettino. I don't care about the circumstances. At the end of the day, you're there to win. And Pochettino, the reason why Pochettino doesn't get a pass is because when he should have won the league against Leicester, he bottled it.
And even he hasn't been given the keys like
Yeah.
Nope.
Klopp's been
Yeah.
given.
Yo.
He would have took just Virgil's money and been
Yeah.
happy.
Yep.
So yo, I'm not having it, man.